Comrades! Splinter Twin is finally free! Let us rise up and seize the 5-0 trophies! Hello folks, Phil Gallagher, aka ThrabenU here for a modern video, a new modern video. Modern has had a massive shakeup with Splinter Twin, Green Sun Zenith, Mox Opal, and faithless looting of all cards now finally being legal again in the format. So, I am going to be taking a Splinter Twin decklist at 5-0'd. I am recording this the day after the ban announcement, so today for me is December 17th, and 2 Splinter Twin decks 5-0'd last night. This one is pretty traditional looking, in my opinion, and feels very much like the vibes of what I am used to playing from the Splinter Twin deck of 10 or so years ago. However, there are some other spicy things happening here. Fear of missing out is another way that you could go infinite with Splinter Twin, although it's a little more restrictive. So you need Delirium, and whenever it attacks for the first time each turn, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, untap target creature. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. So the idea here is you can put Splinter Twin on FOMO, attack with FOMO, FOMO token copy, untap the original, which can then make a new copy, and yada 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 yada, you go from there. I worry about that a little bit because it's not a literal infinite. It requires your the battlefield to be clear enough for a 2/3 creature to repeatedly get in. And it also requires your opponent to not have more than, I don't know, 40-ish life, because when Fear of Missing Out enters, you discard a card and then draw a card, and that is not optional. So you could, in theory, deck yourself while trying to deal, air quotes, infinite damage to your opponent. Whereas Splinter Twin on Deceiver Exarch is just literally as many creatures as you want. So I'm going to use a real old reference here. Very old versions of Splinter Twin often played cards like Wall of Omens in a Jeskai Twin shell, so that you could just get fair value from your Splinter Twins when you don't actually have the Deceiver Exarchs. And that's very much the path that this deck is choosing to take in deck construction here, with Thundertrap Trainer serving as the Wall of Omens type card. You get to look at the top 4 of your library. You can reveal a non-creature, non-land, and put it into your hand. So this can be good value once you stick a Splinter Twin on it, or it can be a way to help you get the Splinter Twin in the first place. And we can also just throw Splinter Twin on Snapcaster Mage, and if you are making it to the late game, that is perfectly reasonable. When Splinter Twin was previously legal, Remand was kind of the 2-mana premier counterspell of the format, and now we get Counterspell instead, which is much, much stronger. It does require blue, which sometimes might be a little bit of a problem, but hopefully most of the time is going to end up being fine. We have Flame of Anor as a source of card advantage in this deck. Tamiyo, Snapcaster Mage, Thundertrap Trainer, and Deceiver Exarch. Sorry, not Deceiver Exarch. The other creatures are all wizards, which enable this. And if we have a decent number of these blue creatures that we don't necessarily need later on in the game, because like Snapcaster Mage and Thundertrap Trainer have all done their thing, at that point we can sacrifice them with Flare of Denial to counter whatever spell is trying to stop our combo turn. And this is also just castable at 3 mana, which is something that you might need to do in some games. Sideboard here seems very targeted towards things that people might be playing now: graveyards for faithless looting, Meltdown for various Mox Opal decks. We're gonna see how this plays out. I am very, very excited. I have not truly been excited to play Modern in the better part of a decade. Splinter Twin was my jam. I played Blue-Red, I played Grixis, I played Tarmo Twin, I played Jeskai Twin. Like, this was what I did in Modern. And then they banned my baby, and I was sad. And I kept playing Modern, but never quite as passionately. And now I get to do the thing that I love again. And we'll see over time whether or not Splinter Twin is a meta contender or just a thing that's legal in the format that you can do. But it's picked up a couple of 5-0s already, so Hopefully that means good things. I'm going to take a second to self-plug here. So while many of the legacy players might be very familiar with, my whole donation deck list model, the modern players who maybe are just seeing my videos for the first time might not. Pretty much in every video, someone supports my video by selecting the deck list that I'm going to play. And if you have a deck that you want to see on the channel, all my pricing and stuff is available over on ThrabenUniversity.com in the donation deck lists tab. So while normally I only play maybe 1 or 2 modern videos a month, you might see a lot more modern from me in the future if that's what people want to support on the channel. And if you need your copies of Splinter Twin because you were not a believer that Twin would ever be unbanned, promo code ThrabenU will save you 5% on your order at toamagic.com, and you might have a handful of things you need for either modern or legacy in this new metagame. They will give you free shipping every single time, whether or not you use the promo code. Although use the promo code so they keep supporting my content. With that being said, let's get to twinning. All right. So we have 2 removal spells for creature decks. I have a way to cantrip. I have lands. This seems perfectly fine. This also represents a surveil land. We're not going anywhere fast, and we would vastly, vastly prefer that Lightning Bolt is actually relevant in the matchup. Let's see what our opponents are doing. Eric, are you, oh, no. So this might be some sort of like Phoenix Demi-Lich type thing. Nope, it's fucking Dredge. Okay, well, of all of the things in the ban announcement, I was most concerned about Faithless Looting being unbanned. Pop out this graveyard. Multiple prized amalgams. I can technically... Oh god, Cephalid Coliseum, 8 cards in graveyard. Alright, here we go. There's also Silver Smote Ghoul in graveyard as of right now. So there's only Dark Blast in there. Or was there another one? Okay, so that could have been worse. So nothing coming back yet, but we're not too far away from that happening. I gotta say no to the land. I have to figure out like what my game plan is for winning this game. I would love to just draw half of Splinter Twin here. Counter spell. This is where I have no matchup heuristics because this is a brand new deck and this is also a brand new deck. What's the flashback on this? Red, discard X cards. Okay. I think it feels so bad to hold up a counter spell. I think it feels too bad to hold that up. I think I just need to do something proactive here. Okay, so there is a Splinter Twin. I think I am going to just take that. I can also take Lightning Bolt and try to send 9 at my opponent's face. But without another threat here, I don't think that quite works. I have how many graveyard hate cards? 3 Ghost Vacuums? I have 3 Ghost Vacuums. Ooh, Ox of Agonas is a problem card. I am unhappy to see that one hit the graveyard. Hopefully that does not happen this turn. Opponent is at 15. Are we seeing the Ox? It is the Ox. This is a card I very much would have liked to counter, but it was not visible in the graveyard at the time. I don't think I regret my decision to tap out, although this is going to be a very, very bad turn for me. There we see a Creeping Chill and multiple Narcomoebas. Rough. It is a drain. Okay, got it. Oh god, the triggers. Alright, so my opponent returns a bunch of things to play. Why do they fly? Oh shit, there's a fucking Wonder in graveyard. Am I effectively dead? I might effectively be dead. These all fly, so this is not blocking. I can Lightning Bolt stop 3 of these. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Well, I would block bolt this and this. So 1, 2, then 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So that's 17. Yeah, no, I'm effectively dead. I needed to hold up Counter Spell. But if this sort of thing was just coming, unless I naturally draw my Splinter Twin pieces, it's just not happening, and that was not in those top few cards. I like Ghost Vacuum, obviously. Magus of the Moon can shut off some things over there, but my opponent does have a lot of red in the deck. And while shutting off Cephalid Coliseum is reasonable, I don't know that I actually want to do that. Force of Negation is very, very good versus Faithless Looting. I'll probably do that. Alright, Spell Snare does not seem super necessary. Spell Pierce for Faithless Looting is perfectly fine. I do have to worry about my opponent naturally discarding to hand size. Flame of Anor does not seem particularly important. I can probably get rid of that. And then do something like trim 1 Lightning Bolt. I'm a little worried that my opponent might overpower Ghost Vacuum. Awkward. So I have both pieces of Splinter Twin. I have Force of Negation. I have an ETB tapped land that can try to find me my second land. The Tamiyo's no good without a second land. I think I mulligan this one. I think this is greedy. This is probably fine. So I am probably playing a tempo game this game rather than a combo game. Like, I don't have any red here. I think I get rid of the Deceiver Exarch. So we'll just island and pass. My opponent has mulliganed once, so they can't just discard a creature to hand size, which is very good for me. That is Faithless Looting. So I can force a negation this if I want to answer this forever. But I think I'm going to Spell Pierce it. It's a little weird, but I would like to get Snapcaster Mage value, and maybe I get to the point where I can just hardcast Force of Negation in the future. Ooh, nice. So I will Ghost Vacuum. I will play the Springs. I don't need mana here. I'll pass the turn. It is my intention to take out Faithless Looting with Ghost Vacuum. We'll see if that happens. I think I Force of Negation that one. I don't think I want Ghost Vacuum to get overpowered. Let's just take out our Snapcaster there, and then we'll just work on keeping the opponent's graveyard in check over time with Ghost Vacuum. All right, there's a Cephalid Coliseum. That doesn't matter unless our opponent has Threshold, which we are just fully trying to keep them off of. Ooh. I think I just played Thunderclap Trainer, though. I will take a second Ghost Vacuum, thank you very much, and pass turn. So now we are trying to settle in for the sort of game that we want to play. Opponent not taking damage from that land, and we're just going to keep vacuuming up everything that we can. You can do it, Moto. Moto, hello. Oh, this land is very, very good. So now I can play a second Ghost Vacuum while still holding up Counterspell. So now it's much harder for my vacuums to get overwhelmed. Now we're settling into the play pattern that I like. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a tapped Thundering Falls here. I think that's fine. Sure. That's meaning that I don't do the counterspell thing or a turn cycle. It seems fine. I think double Ghost Vacuum feels very safe. Besides, this also might just find a relevant counterspell, which it does. So now we're just fully on the tempo beatdown plan. My opponent might start hard casting some creatures. I wasn't paying attention to the lands that they were milling. I'm not sure like how much black or whatever they actually do have. Cathartic Reunion. Draw 3 cards. Okay, so I will go ahead and vacuum a Golgari Thug immediately. I think I'm just fine with my opponent drawing 3 cards. Is that wrong? Like, do their 3 cards actually matter? Doesn't really feel like it. Doesn't really feel like it matters. So there's a land drop. There is black mana. Yeah, they're just going to cast a Golgari Thug. That's fine. I can vacuum that later if I even need to. And we'll just vacuum some things out of graveyard. I don't think it matters what I vacuum. Deceiver Exarch is cool. I'll just go ahead and bash in for 2. My opponent takes that and goes to 9. And I'll just pass the turn here. I have Deceiver Exarch for end of turn. My opponent is just playing a 3/3 creature. That I probably care about enough to just counter. Let's go ahead and take that out. There's more things coming. I don't have to worry about Threshold on Cephalid Coliseum just yet. Opponent not attacking. End of turn. I'll vacuum Prized Amalgam. You don't do anything in exile, do you? Yeah, you don't. Exile that as well. The extra lands are fine here. I will go ahead and attack for 2. Opponent goes to 4. I'll pass the turn. I don't think I need to Deceiver Exarch a land. I could Deceiver Exarch Blood Crypt, though. Is the Ox like 5? Maybe this is fine to just cast. Just take them off of that sorcery speed black mana that might allow them to cast creatures. Yeah, it looks like we're just chilling. I will keep vacuuming. Yeah. And yeah. Okay, my opponent taps out here. That's fine. Well, that was pretty easy. Let's do that again. Do I have enough raw removal in the deck for games where I have Ghost Vacuum, but my opponent just starts casting 3/3s? If I cut some Lightning Bolts and some Flames, that might not be true. Like, this is a matchup where I maybe don't need the Splinter Twin finish if I am doing the Ghost Vacuum thing and controlling my opponent's board. I might go down on twins. Like, do something like cut 2 twins, play 2 Flame of Anors, and that will help me out with the mid-range games that I actually end up having to play. I don't know, Splinter Twin is my easiest way to win a game, though. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm being too worried about the fair stuff. This is an okay hand. This probably Force of Negations, pitching Deceiver Exarch and tries to ride a Tamiyo to victory. I think I have more powerful hands than this, but I don't know that this is worth mulliganing either. Bloodstained Mire. Modern games start at 17. Silent Gravestone. So this is my opponent's counter to Ghost Vacuum. So if I let this resolve, I never get to Ghost Vacuum. Seeing as I don't have Ghost Vacuum, I think that's fine. I'll just counter the Faithless Looting that tries to get things started. And we'll see if I just, kind of comically immediately end up drawing a Ghost Vacuum. Glad that I did not mulligan specifically to Ghost Vacuum just to get caught by this. I don't think I let that resolve. I think that is worth my Deceiver Exarch, given that I am about to draw more cards. It's awkward if my opponent just Faithless Lootings here. I would say that I am not in great shape immediately. I get to generate a clue token, which is cool, but I don't get to deal with Silent Gravestone. I'm always just drawing this card. Gonna be a basic. Yeah, alright, so there is Ghost Vacuum. Now I don't get to use that because of Silent Gravestone. And how many Flame of Anors are currently in my deck? None. And those randomly have Destroy Target Artifact written on them. So that's something to keep in mind for the future, is that I might want to keep a couple of those for this specific scenario. Now I know. The opponent is cracking Cephalid Coliseum. We'll see how bad this ends up being overall. Pretty bad is the answer. So those Narcomoebas are going in play, which means Prized Amalgam is going to get in play. And I'm going to take a little bit from Creeping Chill. So I'll end up taking 3. Oh, and there's a Silver Smoke Ghoul. Not great. So I can Lightning Bolt these things, but they're going to end up coming back. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't love this here. I think I'm going to go ahead and crack this, or attack with this, crack a clue, and I think I'm going to work towards comboing. Yeah, that's fine. So this is a basic, so that I can crack this clue. And I will use a Lightning Bolt to just kill one of these creatures in the combat step. So which one of these is it better to kill? This one is Creeping Chill. This one is Narcomoeba or Ghouls. There's already a Ghoul in there, so I think I'm going to take out this Ghoul. Take 5. I am at 7. That can resolve. That doesn't do anything. That is not the Splinter Twin piece that I am looking for. Let's go deeper. That is not the Splinter Twin piece that I am looking for. I can take 4 on an attack, or I can take 5 on an attack. If I take 5 on an attack, the stuff in the air can get me the following turn. I think if I am going to win, I need to go harder than this. And I'm going to go ahead and make a clue, although I'm not going to crack it immediately. So I have both of these available to me, as well as clue token. That's a problem. That dodges both of the counterspells that I currently have. But I don't think my opponent has another land. So I think I'm going to try to spike Lightning Bolt here on this draw. Do not succeed. Take 5. I'm at 2. So I can block a Narcomoeba. I can Snapcaster Lightning Bolt a Prized Amalgam and stay alive. But I am dead the following turn. Okay. Alright, the Dredge. What is this? Turn target creature and opponent controls to owner's hand. Make a gift to bounce anything. Okay, got it. I need to win this game very, very quickly for multiple different reasons. Fuck! Silent Gravestone fucked me. No. Forgot about that side of it. I take 1. I don't have anything else profitable to do with this mana. Deceiver Exarch, tap down. No, okay, so Deceiver Exarch, tap down Narcomoeba. Tamiyo, block Narcomoeba. Deceiver Exarch, block Prized Amalgam. I'm still live. This land is not really a land. Fast turn. This is being alive. This is what living is. Don't kill me with Creeping Chill. I specifically asked you not to kill me with Creeping Chill. Alright, I'm going to concede, but I'm going to see if the next card is Splinter Twin. The next card was not Splinter Twin. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, which is, in my opinion, the best Magic the Gathering website for hosting your deck lists online. One of my favorite features is that you can create your own custom tags for when you're deck building. So let's say you're building a commander deck and you want to know, hey, how many copy effects do I have? You can just create a tag and sort everything, and there's fun little hotkeys so that you can do this more quickly. So really, please consider checking them out if you are looking to tinker with deck lists online. All right. I have an okay hand here. I have a 1-drop and 2-drop creature that I can play in the early game. Defector Might. All right, so this is Mother of Runes. I don't know what this is an indicator of. Like, is this going to be a Mox Opal deck of some kind? What are you doing? I don't know that it's a fair thing that you're doing over there. I'm going to assume that I am going to want red over the course of this game. I think I am shocking myself at least once. I'm going to play Tamiyo rather than holding up Spell Pierce. In case of emergency, I can still just Flare of Denial. Oh, is it just fucking Hammer time? I am probably overthinking this. This is just probably Hammer. Ooh, Hammer with Mox Opal sounds sweet. Don't think those cards existed side by side. We'll find out what our opponent's doing. Basic Plains into Stoneforge Mystic. The Stoneforge Mystic is probably getting Hammer. This might be worth 2 cards. Like, my opponent's hand might be built around this Stoneforge resolving. As much as I love this Tamiyo, I think I'm just saying no. My opponent can give me a poison counter. And we'll start doing Thunderclap trainer stuff. I have another blue here. I think I'm just going to make this one a basic mountain to save some life. Let's see what we're looking at. Lorien Revealed or Flame of Anor. Flame of Anor can, in theory, nuke a creature, but this kind of gets in the way of that. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up Flame of Anor, despite the fact that I don't really mind Lorien Revealed conceptually right now. And this is turn 2, so I've played a land. Surveil land. Junking Inkmoth Nexus. It is Pure Steel Paladin, which is resolving. And I can't really remove this easily. Maybe we'll just fucking win the game, though. Maybe we'll just win the game. That's worth some life. I think I will just pass the turn and hold up Deceiver Exarch / Flame of Anor. Note that Pure Steel Paladin does require Metalcraft, which my opponent does currently have. I can potentially knock them off of Metalcraft with Flame of Anor. Lava Spur Boots. Those can resolve. My opponent does get to draw a card. If I believe those are problematic, I can just destroy those while drawing 2 cards. Equip is fine. That is a new Stoneforge Mystic. So that is occurring. Indeed, getting a Colossus Hammer. Hoo-hoo-hoo! That's a Mox Opal. I'm going to let that resolve. My opponent is going to cast a Colossus Hammer. And then we do Deceiver Exarch crimes. So, cast Deceiver Exarch. Going to untap target permanent that I control. And then this is going to allow me to Spell Pierce the Colossus Hammer. And if I draw any untapped land, I just win the game on the spot. More generally, I am in a pretty okay position. Okay, I did not hit my thing immediately. I probably just hold up Flame of Anor and settle in for a longer game. I don't think I need to tap out for sorcery speed stuff here. If my opponent does not do anything with their turn, I will just Flame of Anor, destroy probably the boots, and draw 2 cards, which will almost certainly get me my land drop. So let's draw 2 cards, destroy target artifact. Draw 2 cards, destroy target artifact on the boots. Like so. Okay, there is my extra land drop. My opponent has 1 card. It could be something like a Swords to Plowshares, or this could just be my opponent bluffing. I am willing to put it to the test here. Show me your removal spell. Otherwise, I'm twinning. Heyo! That was a great game. 4 copies of Meltdown, 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 Meltdown. I get to be so incredibly disgusting to my opponent's creatures here. Like, we get Pyroplasm, we get Meltdown, we get Flame of Anor. It feels like I have really solid hate for this matchup. I think my plan, generally speaking, is going to be answer things once they are in play rather than countering them. So I think I am less excited about the Spell Pierce and Spell Snare type cards, but it really just feels like I have this massive pile of removal. Like I have 14 removal cards plus a ton of ways to find them. That counts as part of the mana base. I'm never touching those. So like what goes down from here? Unsure. Is it more counter spells? And if so, which ones? Like, is it actual counterspell? Is it Flare of Denial? This is where I just have no matchup experience playing against Modern Hammer, so I don't know. I'm going to go with Flare of Denial. I'm just going to keep the raw counterspell. I'm not always going to have creatures to sacrifice for Flare of Denial. Hand has a Meltdown. I will accordingly keep it. 18. And I can just take that out. So this is just giving hexproof. So I can just destroy that with a Meltdown at some point. I don't need to sweat that. I think I will just pass the turn here. A little awkward if my opponent plays... Ooh. Might be playing this Meltdown much later than I thought I would be. I'm going to take this one. I think I'm going to end up Lightning Bolting Skrelv. Okay, that's in play. Maybe now I'm just going to melt down both of those. I can surveil land and then make a decision. I do want more mana than what I have now. This is fine being a blue basic. I don't just want to get got by, like, land Opal, Pure Steel Paladin, and not literally die, but be in very bad shape. I think there is a very good chance that I can find another Meltdown as this game goes long if I cast another one here. Ooh, shit! That was a good Spell Pierce. So Urza Saga ticks up. We'll see if my opponent is going to go the, like, fair construct route or a more unfair hit me for 10 plus damage route. They are just fetching to have Urza Saga available. They're keeping Skrelv up this time. That's fine. I will make a land drop and I think just pass the turn here. My opponent makes a friend. I don't get to just Lightning Bolt and kill these things, unfortunately. I think I am probably going to end up using Deceiver Exarch as a way to attempt to save 3 to 5 points of life by attempting to tap down a creature, and we'll see if my opponent ends up wanting to tap this in response. Okay, my opponent has made another Urza Saga Construct token and picked up Mox Opal. Ornithopter is fine. These are getting big. The beginning of combat, I think I'm going to try to tap this down to not take 6 damage. Attempt to tap that. Okay, so opponent is going to go ahead and activate. So they get hexproof from blue and cannot be blocked by blue creatures, notably. Now I can Lightning Bolt this if I don't have anything else to do with mana on my turn. That's the good news. So now I need to figure out what I am doing with my life. I would like to just like find a Splinter Twin, obviously. That would be cool. Meltdown is also great. How is Lightning Bolt? I could double Lightning Bolt to kill 1 construct token. That might be what I'm doing. I'm a little worried. My opponent got Mox Opal rather than another piece of equipment or something. So like I'm worried that I'm going to run into something like a Spell Pierce if I try to double Lightning Bolt something. I can grab a Sink into Stupor as a way to permanently answer a construct token next turn. That is, I guess, fine. So I'm going to attempt to take out this creature. We'll do a tapped Steam Vents and pass the turn. So my plan is chump block one of these, take 5, go to 6, remove one of these, maybe play Thunderclap Trainer as well. I'll probably start the turn by playing Thunderclap Trainer. I would like to just find Meltdown and clear out my opponent's entire board with 1 card. That would be cool. So Colossus Hammer is now fair game. Yes. Help me, Meltdown. You're my only hope. I can take 10 and go to 1 and still leave Splinter Twin as an out. All right, here they come. So block that. Take 10. I'm at 1. Splinter Twin's an out. Meltdown is an out. Thundertrap Trainer into Meltdown is an out. Yeah, that's fine. Counterspell, not what I'm looking for. So I can still cast this and then find Meltdown. Fuck yeah. All right, so there's the Meltdown. So I cannot play this around Spell Pierce. So like if my opponent has Spell Pierce or an equivalent effect, like they get me. I don't have agency against that. Please work. Hot damn. Let's play this. Pass the turn. If I untap with 2 counterspells available, I think I just win this game. Now, my opponent had a couple cards in hand, and they weren't Spell Pierce. They could just be additional lands, and my opponent flooded out, or they could have been holding some stuff back. Oh shit, I think they flooded out and just have a bunch of lands. I mean, if you attack, I have to block. Those are the rules. I am at 1 life. I will double block in an attempt to kill Pure Steel Paladin, I think. March of Otherworldly Light for X equals 3. Okay, sure. That's happening. Then I'm going to lose this creature in combat. I don't control a wizard, so I only get 1 mode on this. That's probably fine. Because Spell Pierce is a thing that exists, I think I just try to kill this now. So let's just nuke that. And now I have Counterspell available. Sigarda's Aid. That does not deal points of damage to me. That card seems irrelevant. Like, I die to anything that has power and toughness. The fact that my opponent can cast a hammer with flash does not change that. ThrabenU is cool. I think I have to hold Sink into Stupor as a spell still. Now I'm at the point where I can start just holding up Clue mana. Oh, that's a wizard. That's a wizard. Now life is pretty good for me. We might be stable at this point. I'm going to hold Sink into Stupor for probably 1 more turn. Snapcaster Meltdown is also just a thing my deck is allowed to do, which is disgusting. Let's just crack a Clue here. Trainer is fine. More Flame of Anor. Okay, at this point, Sink into Stupor can probably be a land drop. I don't think it needs to be a spell anymore. So that's always tapped. I've got plenty to do with my mana. I don't need to tap any mana at sorcery speed here. God, I love these play patterns so much. I have missed this. Opponent is fetching. They might have a second Surveil land. They do not. Sort of humorously, if I use Flame of Anor as a draw 2, I lose my wizard for the other Flame of Anor. So that's a thing. Okay, that matters a lot less now. This is not a real land. Send it. I have double Counterspell plus Thunderclap Trainer up. I think I'm just going to cast one of these. I don't think I need to cast this with Offspring to make another copy of it. Lorien Revealed. Perfectly fine. Don't think I have any life gain in the deck, so there's no point in playing Scalding Tarn. I'll pass the turn. Yeah. That feels good. It's good to be back, baby. All right. We have a decent set of tools here. We'll see what our opponent is doing. Blood Crypt. Burning Inquiry. All right. I still have a functional hand. Opponent has Detective's Phoenix in Graveyard. I will get a ThrabenU into play, I guess, and pass. We dodged a turn 1 Hollow One, which is great, because Hollow One does not die to Lightning Bolt with its 4 toughness over. Oh, no. Danger Plant. DRC is fine. I can just Lightning Bolt that and move on with my life. At some point, though, shit hits the fan. Like, at some point, I am not going to be keeping up with the things that my opponent is doing over there, and all the Vengevines are going to break loose and kill me, and it's going to be bad. So hopefully I work towards my own broken thing before that happens. Flame of Anor can kill Hollow Ones if they get into play, which is nice. God, there's 3 of them in there. Oh god, there's Orcish Bowmasters in this deck too? Okay, hopefully I just find a removal spell for that so my ThrabenU can keep attacking. Let's cycle a Lorien Revealed here. Okay, I'm getting a basic. Big draw step here. Lorien Revealed is not what I want. So I could bounce DRC, which I think is actively bad for me. I could just tap it down in the next turn cycle, and then try to play like Thunderclap Trainer into Lightning Bolt the following turn, or I could try to Thunderclap Trainer for Lightning Bolt right now. Try to Thunderclap Trainer for Lightning Bolt right now. This is why I got the basic. Counterspell is slow. I will take Flame of Anor. That is good value. So this is turn 3. I've made my land drops. I don't want to attack. I will cycle Lorien Revealed for my second red source as the next thing that I do. That way, if I draw Splinter Twin, I am live to cast it. Opponent gets to Surveil again. Multiple Detectives Phoenixes chilling in the sideboard now. not sideboard, in graveyard. Street Wraith, cycling Hollow One. Now getting the Phoenix. We are. So this counts as a non-creature spell, so my opponent gets to surveil, junking a Street Wraith that they don't want. And now this is 5 toughness, which is still killable with Flame of Anor, which is what I care about. So I will take 5, go to 13. I will go ahead and cycle here. Steam Vents probably. Have that flexibility of it entering untapped if I need it. So I'm going to Flame of Anor this, probably, while drawing 2 cards. I could Deceiver Exarch it. I think I just want to always have this double red available from here on out. I think I'm leaving up both of these spells. I think I am going to not attack. I don't think this clue is relevant, whereas blocking a 2/2 haster could be. I'm going to make the attack just with this and see where that takes us. Note that my absolute fear is that my opponent has a creature card in hand currently and then draws another creature card, and then there's just 12 hasty damage coming at me. That I can't really mess with right now. Ooh, Arena of Glory. Oh, it's just flashing back Faithless Looting. That is hopefully fine. Opponent keeps something, so they might have found something like a Hollow One that they want to cast. Tarfire. So that's just for that Kindred type. Okay, yeah, so there's Hollow One. Come on, Magic Online. You can do it. I believe in you. My opponent has to attack, at which point we'll cast Flame of Anor. We are going to destroy target artifact, deal 5 damage to target creature. Target artifact, target creature. Bam, bam, bam. And now we're chilling. I've got Deceiver Exarch to tap down things that are going to attack me. I have Clue Production. I have another Flame of Anor now for value. I want to have 3 mana up. Let's Island Cycle this immediately. I think I'm just going to get Thundering Falls and Surveil for Splinter Twin. You're not Splinter Twin. I'm fine attacking this time. Flame of Anor covers my bases pretty well, and I control 2 wizards. I would really prefer to just cast Deceiver Exarch this turn if possible, and then just have the potential of Thunderclap Trainer into combo next turn. Ooh, it is bestowing, which is fine. I will Deceiver Exarch and tap that down. Bobble is fine. So combat, we'll do a tappy tap. Tap down Detective's Phoenix. Opponent can crack that, that's fine. Now my opponent gets to draw a card. It's another Deceiver Exarch, which is very good. I will cast a Thunderclap Trainer here. Oh wow, I miss. Let's play this as a tapped land. I do not want to pay the life. I will go to combat. I will deal 2 points of damage. I think I leave this Tameo back. I've just got enough clues here that I'm not sweating card advantage at all. My opponent fully might just get tempoed out by a couple of bad creatures. Again, the fear is the Vengevines coming back and obliterating me. I just haven't found a counterspell yet to kind of really solidify my safety. Looting is fine. Opponent junks 2 lands, cycles a Street Wraith. I can deal 4 damage next turn. If I find a Lightning Bolt, it is lethal. Hollow One is fine. I'm going to get to do the same sort of line as before. Come on, Spinning Wheel of Death, go away. Alright, we'll go ahead and let our opponent attack, and then we'll do the Flame of Anor thing again. Destroy target artifact, 5 damage to target creature, target artifact, target creature. We take those out again. Bobble's fine. Guess my opponent could recollect evidence on the Phoenix to keep it from dying to something like a Lightning Bolt. Did my opponent have the capacity to play this turret in a way where the Hollow One attacks? I don't remember off the top of my head. Sure. I think my opponent saw a Splinter Twin. They saw a Splinter Twin. Alright, cool. So what am I doing here in terms of fighting my opponent? Ghost Vacuum as a way to fight back against the Vengevines that I was terrified of all games sounds really good to me. I could try to Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon for a free win, but a bunch of my opponent's cards that are relevant are actually red. I don't think I like that plan. Let's not do that. Flame of Anor was very, very good. Very impressed by that here. Meltdown to get rid of Hollow One, probably not correct. Do I Force of Negation for Faithless Looting? This is not a very flexible card in the matchup. It doesn't answer a lot of the creatures, for example. Spell Snare is not the best. Spell Pierce doesn't answer a lot of things. They could turn these 1-drops into these 1-drops. That feels fine. Now, Force of Negation versus, say, Flare of Denial. My bodies are kind of relevant here. Let's turn Flare of Denials into Force of Negations. Flare of Denial is more generic for the mid game. I think this is a play draw thing, though. I think when I am on the draw, I like being able to just say no to Faithless Looting on turn 1. This is not playable on one land like this. Opponent also mulliganing. Yeah, this is probably fine. I think it is more important for me to keep mana production than it is for me to keep Lightning Bolt number 3. Now, one of the problems with my current hand, though, is if my opponent goes wild on turn 1 and just produces a hollow one, that does not line up well versus what I am doing here. I can take out that with Ghost Vacuum. This is fine. I can also take out Faithless Looting with Ghost Vacuum. Hey, Snappy came back. Yes. Ghost Vacuum, pass turn. Stomping Ground. All 3 colors are now online. Ghost Vacuum helps to keep that in check. That's not too bad overall. Burning Inquiry means that it's much harder to keep Nethergoyf in check. Okay. Oh no, I lost both copies of Lorien Revealed. Those were my mana sources. That is exceptionally bad for me. So first thing that I get rid of is the enchantment. That's going to shrink that by 1. Okay, never didn't have it. I am thinking about whether or not I am removing Faithless Looting at sorcery speed. I think the answer is no. I'm also thinking about whether or not I would like to double bolt Nethergoyf and then just immediately remove it, which I might want to do. My deck should get better over time, and my opponent's deck should get worse over time. I think I'm into that. So Lightning Bolt. I maybe don't need to literally remove it right now. My opponent can't cast it yet. I could remove Faithless Looting immediately. I would like to remove Nethergoyf and leave flexibility for some of the worst case scenarios. Very interesting game. It's another one. I hate it. Okay. And something else. Ooh. That's not great for me, but this is currently an enchantment? Okay. I don't like where this is going. I'm just going to try to stop this. So now I remove sorcery. That reduces this to dying to Lightning Bolt. And then we just kind of hope that the top of the deck is reasonable for the remainder of the game. I think I need to just remove that. How does this read? 4 or more card types among them, which my opponent can't do yet. So I can leave up Ghost Vacuum in the short term, and then work on picking out both Nethergoyfs from it. I do not think that I am stable yet, but this is a damn good start. Let's take out the first. Excellent. That is an okay draw. I really just want mana right now. Yeah, this is mana. This is also mana, but this is more immediate mana. This is the land drop that I can make right now. I will do that. Pass the turn. Okay, it is a Tarfire. That's fine. So now this is 4 card types in graveyard. So I am probably going to end up eating a Nethergoyf before my opponent has mana because they can bring it back. I alternatively could hit Tarfire depending on how this Surveil goes. Ooh, Faithless Looting. Let's take out the threat, the guaranteed threat. Hopefully my opponent just spends their turn on Faithless Looting and does not accomplish a lot. Because if they 3-mana Faithless Looting, that is not guaranteeing any real amount of value. This is great. I'll pass the turn. I think in upkeep I eat the Faithless Looting and just don't give my opponent a chance to cast that and enable some hollow ones or whatever. I am currently leaving up hard casting Flare of Denial. That's why I'm not just trying to tap down one of my opponent's things. DRC. That is a 1/1 that gives my opponent a bunch of surveil value while I'm trying to just keep them in check with Ghost Vacuum. I think I'll just counter that. I think I will just simply choose to say no. And I'll pass the turn. I may actually just reach a point where I make a bunch of 1/1s with Ghost Vacuum in a way that is relevant and meaningful. This turn, I don't have anything else to do. I think it is fine to just deny my opponent the green mana here and tap that Stomping Ground. The green mana is less important than the third mana source, although it is possible that my opponent needs 4 mana to cast a Vengevine that is currently stuck in hand. Cycle. I'm going to eat the thing with a higher CMC in respect of Detective's Phoenix. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Second one of those is very good. I'll send in with this. Opponent's at 12. Don't think I need to eat anything immediately. Opponent surveils. Still don't think I need to eat anything. That's just a land. I'm going to use this Ghost Vacuum to continue to eat creatures from my opponent's graveyard, and then I will use the secondary Ghost Vacuum to decrease the number of different card types that are in their graveyard. Okay. I mean, I will just continue to attack for 1 while obliterating your graveyard. I am 1 land drop away from just creating a small army in a can from Ghost Vacuum, which does not tend to actually happen in Legacy. Like, I think I've made Ghost Vacuum tokens once or twice, but it very well might be happening now. Yeah, you get to know your death is coming. Land drop. Opponent probably doesn't have any more Surveil lands from here. Yeah, they do not. Not hard casting a hollow one either. So we'll keep clean in house here and use the secondary one to just take the artifact out of graveyard. They get to do their redraw. I pick up a new Deceiver Exarch, which is kind of whatever. But honestly, it doubles my clock, so it's fine. I think that I am okay just tapping down a land here so that a 5-mana hollow one that is drawn is not hard castable. We will choose to tap down a green source in respect of green for Vengevine. That's just more land. Okay, so that's not Vengevine, that's not Hollow One. My opponent might have a removal spell over there that they are holding, or if I draw a Splinter Twin, which is fine and good. So I am okay attacking with these creatures. Opponent goes to 7. How many creatures are under this? I guess the Detective's Phoenix would have had haste. I can only activate this as a sorcery. Yeah, this is fine. I will vacuum. I missed a point of damage. This could have attacked. Notably, the DRCs get extra damage as the Delirium ability is giving them +2/+2. But it looks like our Nethergoyfs are having their abilities overridden by the Ghost Vacuum ability that is setting it to 1/1s. We have gotten the GG in chat from the opponent here. That was a great showing for our deck. All right, I'm going to just start the game on Flooded Strand and pass. There's some interesting decisions about sequencing of lands here where I have like a guaranteed ETB tapped land that I hope to play later on. I'd like to leave Spell Pierce up on turn 1. There's a lot of new fast things in the format, you know, your Mox Opals, your Faithless Lootings that I want to be able to counter if they happen immediately. 17, 15, 13, Thoughtseize. I will probably just go ahead and Spell Pierce that. Would not like my opponent to have perfect information about my hand, so we'll Pierce. I think I am going to play Thundering Falls this turn. And just get that Surveil out of the way. It means that I don't have Lightning Bolt available for this turn. I'm hoping that's not a big deal. That's a fine draw. Not sure what I'll end up doing next turn cycle, because sometimes I end up like doing a Snapcaster Spell Pierce or something. Fear of missing out. That's fine. I can Lightning Bolt that and then play Thunderclap Trainer as well. What land am I doing that off of? Probably Steam Vents. Let's just go ahead and cast this now. Yeah, well, I'm getting Sink into Stupor, apparently. Steam Vents, Shock in. I don't think I need to remove this at sorcery speed for any reason. Bobble's fine. You can take a peek. Arena of Glory can be scary. This is not for haste. Tarfire is acceptable at beginning of combat. I will then take this out. And there's a Malevolent Rumble. Oh, so my opponent is doing some similar stuff as to our previous opponent. So now there's some detectives, Phoenixes in graveyard. Opponent gets a redraw. Nethergoyf is fucking massive. Holy shit. I think I'm just playing this as an ETB tapped land and passing the turn with Snapcaster Bolt, Snapcaster Pierce, and Sink into Stupor available. Wow, that's more cycling. Opponent is down to 8. We're not that far away from just going Snap Bolt to face. So that 7-8 is happening. Bobble is happening. Opponent's probably going to be collecting some evidence here. Street Wraiths make that very, very easy to do. Haste mana. That's fine. Does it have to be used on a creature? No. It's an if it is spent on a creature, so then my opponent can attempt to give Nethergoyf flying, which they do. I can Snapcaster Spell Pierce to save myself some damage in the short term, which I think is what I'm going to do. We have some longer term problems. I want to find a Deceiver Exarch. And that's obvious because I have Splinter Twin in my hand. But beyond just that, I want to tap this down so it's not hitting me. I'll take 3. I can think about Snapcaster Lightning Bolt. Guess I can just do that separately. So Snapcaster Bolt answers DRC. I can also just sink into Stupor and Nethergoyf. I'm a mana away from where I'd really like to be. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to hold the Splinter Twin for a Deceiver Exarch. I think that's the way that I win this game the easiest, is I just end up tapping this down for a turn and then winning. And I think if I try to do Snapcaster Lightning Bolt followed by Sink into Stupor, Snapcaster Sink into Stupor again, I think I am playing to not lose rather than playing to win. And I would like to win. So we're going to take out DRC. I am going to turn this into a Surveil land and pass. My Snapcasters are not going to get to chump block because my opponent is going to make Nethergoyf fly in all likelihood. So there's the Bobble redraw. So then opponent will have 4 cards after their draw step. And I'm having a hard enough time beating the stuff that's showing. Okay, it is another Malevolent Rumble. What is that? Omnivorous Flytrap. Delirium enters or attacks. If there's 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, contribute 2 +1/+1 counters. If there's 6 or more card types among your graveyard, double them. Oh shit, okay. I haven't seen that one before. Alright, so there's the Phoenix, which is occurring. I'm going to take 9. I could take 11 if my opponent does it again. Good God. It hurts. I'm going to go to 4. Going to Surveil. Flame of Anor. The 5 damage does not do me a lot of good. The draw 2 is slow here when I am on death's door. I think I say no to that. I had a little more time. I think that's good, but I'd much rather just spike Deceiver Exarch here. Is that a Deceiver Exarch that I spy with my little eye? That's not bad. Going to pass the turn holding back both my copies of Snapcaster Mage as blockers versus haste attackers here. Deceiver Exarch does not die to Tarfire. Doesn't die to Lightning Bolt. Let's see what's happening. I'm going to 5. Playing another land. So 2 lethal flying attackers is the problem. This is untap target creature. Okay, so this is fine. So I let my opponent go to attacks. Yeah, this is fine. So I am going to end up playing Deceiver Exarch, untapping one of my lands, and sink into Stuporing a Nethergoyf. They got rid of another Fear of Missing Out. They could have played 2 of them with haste. Ooh, hoo, 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 yeah. Okay, so they're going a +1/+1 counter on both of them, which will double. That's fine. This doesn't trample. This doesn't give trample. Yes. The Fear of Missing Out trigger. Okay, opponent did exactly what I wanted them to do. So, Deceiver Exarch. Untap a permanent that I control. Then sink into Stupor the creature that they are targeting with this ability. So this now fizzles, right? I do not believe that this now grants an additional combat phase. I will just block with a Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, it does not grant the combat phase. Opponent does not get to attack with their Detective's Phoenix. And now I get to just play Splinter Twin and win. So I think if my opponent stacks up all the counters here and targets the fear of missing out, they put me in a much, much worse position. No, I just lose 2 Snapcasters, right? So I Snapcaster block a second time. This is only when it attacks for the first time each turn. I do win either way. Ooh, buddy. That was tight. So I conceptually like Ghost Vacuum against my opponent's graveyard-oriented value deck. I think I like Flame of Anor. Magus of the Moon is a thing that I could do. My opponent's mana base is greedy. Conceptually, my role might be board control into combo, though. Spell Pierce and Spell Snare have different reasonable targets. It's possible I go down Flare of Denial for being slower than this stuff is, even though these are less flexible than Flare of Denial. This is one of those times where I just don't have matchup heuristics. I think if I'm playing some tap-out 1-drops, these become less good. Okay, so opening hand has 2 lands, has a Tamiyo, has a Thunderclap Trainer, has a removal spell, has half of my combo. This is fine. I might end up dealing a decent amount of damage to myself with my own cards here. 17 and a Goyf. I can answer that immediately, and will probably do so even though it might come back later. Sometimes I need blue next turn for counterspell. I think I'm okay shocking here. Start at 17. Bolt this before it gets outside of range of my removal. And then we probably like Tamiyo and then one of these 2 lands tapped next turn. We could Thunderclap Trainer next turn, depending on exactly what things look like. My mana might be tight for taking advantage of Tamiyo. Red mana, fear of missing out. I would very much like to eliminate that creature before it starts generating extra combat steps, maybe with bonus value. Okay, that's real good. That's real good. Let's preserve some life because I'm about to take a lot of damage. I'll basic island on one of these. I will cast a Ghost Vacuum. I think I immediately vacuum the Phoenix out before my opponent has the ability to do crimes with it. Then I will drop a Tamiyo. So I can block this once. I guess there's not Delirium right now. I took out that enchantment. That helps. There is a DRC which can present a lot of value over time and fight back versus my Ghost Vacuum. So my opponent has a Spell Bomb of their own, presumably to fight back versus my Snapcaster Mages. Lie Trap hits the yard. Oh, opponent's just done with me. I don't know how bad their hand was, or if they got caught playing Magic Online while at work, or what, but that concession does not feel warranted to me. I have a very weird-looking hand here. I'm on the draw. I'm pretty darn good versus creature decks with Bolt, Flame of Anor. I have some tension between blue of Counterspell and casting Magus of the Moon. I think I'm going to keep this hand and kind of hope that I draw one more land that gives me proper direction for how to play this game. Like, all it takes is one red source or one basic island in some capacity, and I think this game is totally fine and good with the cards that I currently have access to. That is turn 1 Urza's Saga and Springleaf Drum. So Artifact Destruction in the form of Flame of Anor is probably fine. Is it Honest to Goodness Affinity? Yeah, this is some sick affinity stuff. I need a red source this turn. This Magus of the Moon might get a little awkward in the mid-game, but we're not at the mid-game right now, are we? So this is getting me red. It might need to get me blue-red. I'm not 100% sure. I know that Emery is not staying alive, though. That much is abundantly fucking clear. The things that my opponent are pulling out of the graveyard right now are not overly powerful, but I just cannot leave my opponent with that, I don't think. Bobble. Thoughtcast. Opponent just not going as hard as possible on activating Urza's Saga because they have another. God, this Magus of the Moon is like this close to being insane. That is Counterspell. Okay, so this is a little weird. I play this, it enters tapped. I Lightning Bolt Memnite so that my opponent cannot make an initial Urza's Saga token. And then I hope that I draw a basic island to cast Magus of the Moon and kill the other one. Things are a little weird here. I guess my opponent is going to have access to Mox Opal, so they can always make Urza Saga Construct tokens off this. No, they can't always make. No, they could float a mana. Okay, so they can always make one Construct token off the second Urza Saga, which if I get access to a blue, I can just Flame of Anor. So there's the floating mana, finding the Mox Opal like I predicted. Okay, there was another land anyway. That means Lava Spur Boots can start doing Lava Spur Boots things in a way that's a little unfortunate for me. Ringleaf Drum? Oh, fuck. No. No. This blows. Fucking Kappa Cannoneer. So my opponent did this wrong, right? So you can do this in a way where you leave up Mox Opal instead and then equip Lava Spur Boots to it immediately and hit me for 5. Ward 4 is some fucking shit, though. I just don't think I beat that. My opponent makes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Makes a 6/6 that turns into a 7/7 that turns into an 8 power thing with ward. I take 13. I'm never beating that. Fuck. What do the next couple draws look like? Not good enough. Meltdown. Great. I think I want my Blood Moons and Magus of the Moons for Urza Saga specifically, despite the fact that I am boarding in Meltdown. I think I will get rid of the situational counterspells here. Flame of Anor is also good. Like, am I even a twin deck? I probably just get rid of most counterspells. And I try to deal with Kappa Cannoneer by just nuking all of the early game support for it. Or have some actual factual counterspells for it. Do I want a mix of Counterspell and Flare of Denial? Might want a mix. Let's do a mix there. That makes my Tamios that I play out early a little bit better. This is hopefully fine. I have Thunderclap Trainer to dig for something like a Meltdown. I have an immediate Tamio. I can fetch out my basic island in a way that does not look suspect. Just kind of immediately here. Darksteel Citadel and a friend. And Mox Opal is live. Shadow Spear is fine. Emery is not really fine. Emery finds Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor. Fuck. So fast. Pull another land out of deck here. Just grab another basic island. Cast the trainer. Meltdown? 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 Meltdown. If I intend on casting that, attacking with the Tamio and producing a clue is not great value. I'm just going to hold this Tamio back. I can make it anyway in case I don't cast the Meltdown and I do end up creating some opportunity to do it. They don't think my opponent's going to use their mana to just like equip Shadow Spear, for example. So my big fear is that my opponent gets his Kappa Cannoneer into play. They have 4 of 6 mana towards it. Now they have 4 artifacts that they can tap towards it. We're not there yet. It's currently collateral damage for Meltdown. Opponent targets Thought Monitor, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this costs 2 mana, which they do have. And this is something that my opponent can potentially recur if I make, just kind of meaningful regular attacks. Oh God, that's a rough swing while I am trying to play control. Now my Meltdown like cleared out some stuff. I can't. Okay, no, Flame of Anor is fine. Flame of Anor is good. Flame of Anor is good. To say yes, I will cast this. I will deal 5 damage to Emery, destroy a Thought Monitor. I think that's the way that I do this. So destroy target artifact, 5 damage to Emery. Yeah. I chill with Tamio so Tamio can... Nah, sure, let's make my opponent invest mana into Shadow Spear if they want to do that. I am potentially just going to melt down a clue anyway. If they invest mana into Shadow Spear and then I nuke it and 3 other cards at the same time, I think that's okay. Oh, God, Kappa Cannoneer is fucking unbeatable. What am I supposed to do against this shitter? Ward 4 is just basically Shroud. Just cannot deal with that. Good God. Donde está Pyroblast? Okay, and a drum. All these extra Tamios are not cutting it. So I can melt down 4 permanents away. I just can't take this Kappa Cannoneer out of play. But it almost certainly kills me in 2 attack steps. I don't have Deceiver, Exarch, or Splinter Twin to be playing towards. Fuck. Blood Moon, not really doing anything. I'll say yes. I'll melt down that stuff. I'm going to generate a redraw. Take 2 extra damage for that. I just don't know how I beat Kappa Cannoneer. Like, the answer is be on the play and melt down my opponent's stuff before they can play it. Like, that is my answer to that question. Wow, that card feels so strong. I wonder if I could die this turn. My opponent, like, strings together a couple Thoughtcaster Thought Monitors. Oh. No. Don't have, like, an Ensnaring Bridge or anything. No. Nope. Fucking turtles, man. We put up a 3-2 finish in this league. Well, that was super enjoyable. Like, this was very refreshing. This was very fun. Gameplay felt intricate. Decisions felt like they mattered. My sideboard cards felt like they mattered. My deck felt fine. Like, thumbs up. I can't declare Modern is fixed after a sample size of 1 league, but this was very fun for me. I really enjoyed playing this deck. I don't know how I feel about some of the exact slots. Like, I boarded these out in most of my rounds to bring in things like Ghost Vacuum and Meltdown, but I don't necessarily think that these cards are bad. Like, this is some really nice Game 1 flexibility for Snapcaster Mage. I don't know how I feel about the Singleton main deck Magus of the Moon for Flame of Anor purposes, but sometimes it might steal games. Stealing games is nice. Generally speaking, I like the Thundertrap trainers a lot. I would maybe even be willing to play more cards that looked like this. Like, if there is another 2-mana wizard, like, hold on. It's been a little while. You a wizard? Red Horde. Anyway, finishing that thought, if there was another 2-mana wizard that we could play that might enable it instead, I would be very interested in looking into that. Maybe you can adjust this deck a little bit. Like, it's not blue, so it doesn't work for Flare of Denial, but maybe you could play a couple of these, change these out for, like, some preordains or something like that. I would definitely be interested in exploring Dreadheart Arcanist in this shell. Ghost Vacuum Fox. That card was so incredibly good in this league. I was not overly impressed with it when I saw it in the deck list, and then I felt it in action, and it was really strong. I feel like the 4 copies of Meltdown were also very, very justifiable. Thumbs up to this. I will be playing more Splinter Twin. This was a lot of fun, and please donate to have me play more Modern. I'm very, very excited about the format right now. Like, the artifact stuff that's going on that my opponent was playing in the last round seemed really sweet. I would love to play that, for example. And if you need any cards for the new Modern format, please consider checking out my sponsor, TOAMagic.com, and using promo code ThrabenU to let them know that I sent you while saving a little bit on your order. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya!